Hey everyone, John here from Peralta AI. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a stand-up meeting with myself just to go over what I'm going to be focused on for the next week, what I did in the last week, and if I'm blocked by anything. Um, so, in the last week, I've been working heavily on data sourcing and preparation for the next rebalance. So, high level, Peralta AI has 5 steps in its alpha factory process. So, the first step is data sourcing and preparation. The second phase is modeling. The third phase is portfolio construction. The fourth phase is execution. And then the fifth phase is performance attribution. And then, based on that performance attribution, it kind of loops back into data sourcing and prep, and then so on and so on. So, every single month, I can improve the process. Each 5 of these steps is itself version controlled. So I have a version of data sourcing and preparation. I have a version for modeling. I have a version for performance attribution. So um, in the next week, my focus is data sourcing and prep. So when I do run the Lambda Mart model, I have 100% honesty with myself that I don't have any survivorship bias in my data set. I don't have survivorship bias in my data set. I don't have look ahead bias in my data set. Everything I have is time stamped. Um, I think within the next week, I should be able to really just like dial that in. Um, if my data sourcing and prep doesn't really isn't honest, that pretty much blocks like the next 4 steps in the pipeline. So that's what I'm focused on within the next week, and even in the last week, that's what I've been focused on. Last weekend, I got a Mac Mini, so I've been kind of migrating all of like my automation scripts there, and then cleaning up my automation scripts. I've been doing a lot of AI slop cleanup because from like mid-April to about like May 5th, I was like trying to get into like a incubator type of thing. And I was just pushing so hard. I was like pushing so much code that I just needed to clean it up for like a week and just take a break from like doing so many features. I was getting a lot of tech debt, so obviously like I had to fix that. But yeah, so I pretty much unblocked myself this week to focus on data sourcing and preparation, right? This is what the data sourcing and preparation looks like under the hood. Each I would have like a equity research reports, and those equity research reports are actually the foundation of the modeling. So these are all inputs to the modeling. That's why they're so time stamped heavily, right? Um, every single one of these sections. So I have like the 10Ks. I have like financial statements. Um, what I do is I do the data sourcing and preparation, and once I have the data source and the once I have the data source, I process it into like a readable format. For example, like this equity research report on Apple. From this equity research report, I can extract features for the actual model itself, right? So these reports aren't really just like equity research reports for the sake of equity research reports anymore. They're really like inputs to a full alpha factory with complete version control. Um, right now, I'm investing in only like the TSX 100, but really I have the ability to go and invest in the US. Um, I want to focus specifically on the TSX right now, just because I'm a Canadian, and I just feel like I have an edge on what to look for within like the energy sector, basic materials, banking sector. That's like literally like how I was raised. So I feel like I have a unique edge in figuring out like um, what matters there, right? And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm focused on. Um, I think that eventually though, if I'm able to like train a model that could like rank stocks within the TSX, I'm gonna be able to do that anywhere. So right now, like the wedge that I'm gonna focus on is Canadian markets, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. Just version control, data sourcing, and prep. Really, the boring stuff. I think high level. Um, the key factors for succeeding in this for this like flow or this pipeline, so to speak, is going to be definitely data sourcing and preparation, and then performance attribution. The modeling, the portfolio construction, and the execution. I really try to make portfolio construction and execution like stupid simple. I'm not really doing like any high frequency trading. I'm not doing like I don't really have any capacity issues. I don't have a lot of the issues that a regular quant firm would have. So for portfolio construction and execution to me isn't like that key. Um, but like even the modeling itself, I feel like modeling is pretty solved. There's like a bunch of open source libraries like Light GBM. There's like XG Boost. There's Scikit-learn. There's a ton of like modeling out there. The key I think for me is making sure that I improve my decision every month. And I think the best thing that I could do in the next week is improving the data source and prep, and like making sure there's no biases in the data set. But yeah, so that's what I did last week. That's what I plan to do in the next week. I'm not really blocked by anything. I think that it's just up to me to um, really push and like get this done. But yeah, uh, thanks. Bye.